Oh. Beautiful. That's it, Jack. That's it, mate. Wait for a few more Saners to tune in, and we'll breeze through this so we can get home and watch the replay. That was so good. Bloody hell. God. When they needed to deliver, they did it. A week is a bloody long time in football. This time last week, or close to it, we were condemning the team and the season, and now, funnily enough, there's hope. There's the Saints that we know that this team is capable of. That's the frustrating thing. We know what they can do, and too many games gone by, particularly Friday night, Saturday night's prime time, where the pressure's on and we buckled. But tonight, far out. We lifted. Everyone lifted. And I'm going to say straight off the bat, he didn't have the most disposals on the ground, not even close. But Marcus Winhager, I have to just say, bloody hell. What a performance from the young kid. He stood up in so many moments when we needed. His gut running, even if it was unrewarded, he just pushed. He willed himself to get to the ball. So many good kicks, marks, tackles. Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira again stood up, and Jack Sinclair just ran the show. And I have to say, Jack Steele, I feel like he played a soft tag on someone like Paddy Cripps, but it was critical, and he kicked a goal of his own. He stood up as a captain, and the back line, undermanned. Highmore came on, Dougal Howard off, Hunter Clark putting his body on the line. The Smalls doing the job. Higo and Butler, good to see them hitting some form. Max King having a pretty quiet game, but still kicking 3. And Tim Membry. We can't go past Tim Membry. This is the Tim Membry that I have been wanting all year long. He's first foremost a forward that kicks goals. And then secondary, then you go back and you protect the lead. And that's exactly what he did. He kicked his goals when he needed to, clutch goals late in the quarter to seal the game. And then he had the smarts to go back and protect the lead. And the midfield was excellent. We knew tonight going into this game that Carlton's midfield was pure class. They had Cripps, they had Walsh, they had Kennedy, they had Cherubak. A very good midfield overall, and we knew that we needed to stand up in that moment. And the best part is that we did, Saners. These boys stood up. They knew what was on the line, and that's what we've been critiquing them on in the last 3 weeks, that they play like they don't know what's on the line. And tonight they played as if this was a final, that they knew that if we lost, that the season was done. And they had to pull in. They had to dig deep to get the win. And they knew that it wasn't going to be pretty. They knew it wasn't going to be easy. And, Carlton at times kept pegging us back. But I loved that every time they kept pegging us back, we always responded. And they missed goals, but we missed goals too. There were a lot of rush behinds there. And I felt that we were probably the better team for about 65-70% of the game. But they always pulled us back. But we never buckled. We never got worried that they were going to overrun us. The first 20 minutes, I knew this was going to be an open game, and that would suit us. Carlton were not playing man on man. It looked like they were playing zone. And that suits us. That suits us because that means that there's an uncontested game. It's more of an uncontested game than, say, the Sydney game last week where they played man on man. They stopped the middle of the ground. That stopped all of our run. But tonight, they didn't block the middle of the ground at all. They left space in behind, and that's Saints footy to a T. So I don't know if Ratton outcoached Voss, or Voss just took us lightly, or their players just didn't think that was the way to play us. But I knew from the first 20 minutes that if Carlton were going to continue to play that way, this game was there for us to take. And we took it. We took it. Every quarter, it was tight. It ebbed and flowed. We had flow. We had goals. We hit the front. Had a big start. They pegged us back. Then we go again. Then they pegged us back. Again, pegged us back. Late in the quarter, Mackay has a shot to, I think put them close to in front. Misses it. And we did not look back after that. We finished strong, finished the better team, and we got the Chocolates in a much needed win. This was a huge game for us. We all knew that going into this. We're all nervous. Even with a minute to go, I was thinking to my mate, nah, mate, like, take it easy. We can't get too ahead of ourselves. But, God, I'm so proud of the boys. Paddy Ryder back, invaluable goals, invaluable around the ground presence and centre clearance taps. Zach Jones, special mention. Zach Jones, been down pretty much since he's been back from his injury, or from his time off. This was a big game for Zach Jones. His clearances were critical for us. And, it was just huge for him to just play an impact. Crouch was better. Steele did his job, whether he was tagging or not. Brad Hill, first quarter in particular, was huge for us. Brad Hill and Jack Sinclair, it just seemed like Carlton didn't bother to tag them, didn't bother to get players on them to stop their run. Maybe that was a bit arrogant on their end, but it allowed us to dictate play, to get players in behind. And we all know when those boys are running and gunning, we are a hard team to beat. And they were doing that all night. Particular Jack Sinclair. I don't know how many touches he had overall, but it was well above 30, I'm pretty sure. He had about 22, 23, maybe more at half-time. By far one of the most influential games he's played this season. And he would have loved it because last week he was tagged and this week he wasn't. So he really did relish the space, the time that Carlton allowed him. I thought Mason Wood on the wing really created balance and he had good moments. And he was contested, whether he marked it or not. He brought the ball to ground, created either a ball up, a throw in, or it was just a stalemate. And that's exactly what we want from him. Even Jack Billings, probably stats-wise not his biggest game, but he was moving everywhere. He just constantly created options, and I love that. If you looked around the ground, if you're at the ground tonight, Saners, rarely were we stagnant. And that was a big issue from last week. We weren't moving. But tonight we were moving. Players were running into spots. They knew they weren't getting the ball. But it allowed space for other players. And that was unselfish play, sorry. And that's something we've been questioned on the last 3 weeks. We've been playing selfish football. That's why Jack Higgins was dropped. He comes back in. He has his unselfish moments. Then he has selfish moments, but he kicks the goals. And that's what you love. Players backed themselves tonight. They knew their strengths, but they knew their limitations. And that is the most important thing. It's good to know your strengths, but you need to know your limitations to be a good team. And tonight, every single player on that field knew what they could do for their teammates and for their team as a whole, and what they couldn't do. And they knew that their players around them were going to support them in moments when they needed help. And I loved that. Every time it was a one-on-one and it looked like a Carlton player might win that one-on-one, there was an extra out the back, that quick handball, that quick support play. And we haven't had that in the last month. So that was huge for us tonight. I'm so proud of the way we played. That to me was our most impressive win of the season. We're playing an informed Carlton with a backline that's been a bit iffy, with a few changes going into it, and a forward line that has not been firing on all cylinders. This was looking like a very, very interesting, very, very tough game for us. And we brought our best. And I had a feeling pre-game we needed to play close to our best to be a chance tonight. And that's exactly what it took. And we delivered it. So happy for the boys, for the Saners as well. All the Saners that turned up, there was a good 44,000 tonight. And obviously majority of them were Carlton fans. There was a lot of them tonight. They were very vocal early, but it was good to chat to a few of them late in the game, and they quietened down significantly. I think at one point they mentioned, Silvani has more premierships, or at least Silvani's father had more premierships than our whole club, but I just quickly reminded them of the scoreboard, and they didn't say much after that, which was funny. So I'm stoked. This was such a good win, such a good game to go to. And funnily enough, this reignites our season, doesn't it? We've got Fremantle and Bulldogs in the next 2 weeks, and they look winnable now. So good to see Highmore come on and do a job. Good to see Nasai and Winhager continue their form. Our small forwards hit the scoreboard, and our talls all over the ground. Marshall, Ryder, King, Membry, Battle, all of them stood up when we needed them to. So really, really good overall performance from our team tonight, and I could not be happier. So I'll get into some of these comments. Let me just scroll. I'll go as far as I can to the top. Will says, I liked unselfish Butler tonight. Yeah, that was Butler that we wanted. That was 2020 Butler. You know, particularly that crumb and that left foot snap in the goal square. I think that might have been in the fourth term, really, when we needed a goal, and he delivered it out of nothing. So that is the exact type of damn Butler that we want for the rest of the season, and we're so much better as a team when he plays like that. So pumped. Season stays alive. That's from Zach. Absolutely, mate. It's funny. Last week, we talked about the season being done, and a lot of people were saying, geez, you know, they can't even picture how we beat Carlton, as if they were some undeniably good team like Melbourne, and they've been winning flags for the last 10 years. They haven't made finals in 9 years. They will make finals this year. They've been a very good team this year, but they have not been consistent. They've been prone to the odd upset loss. You know, they've won 3 of their last 5, 3 of their last 6 now. We've also won 3 of our last 6. They're in the same boat as us. And we stood up tonight and we took the game off them. So all credit to our boys. Up the mighty Sainers. That's from Jay. Sinclair had 37 tonight. That's from Jonty. That's a huge game. Massive game from Jack Sinclair. Alexander says, Butler's still got to step up every game. Needs 2 or more from him week in, week out. Exactly. 2 goals from Dan Butler is a fair return from him. Whether he has 5 touches, 10 tackles, 1 tackle. If he's kicking 2 goals a week, he stays in the team. Oh, and Kel Wilkie on Kerno as well. What did Kerno kick? 1 goal? That was a worry for me going into this game, our matchups in the back half. But Mackay kicked, 2, maybe 3 max. And Kerno kicks 1, I think. And it was mainly their smalls that got the better of us in the goal square. Like Motlop kicked a couple of really good goals. I don't know if Cottrell kicked 1, but they had a lot of smalls or mids kicking goals in the first half, and that's when I kind of knew they're kicking goals, but they're not easy goals, and that's not sustainable in a full game. If they were going to win, they needed Mackay or Kerner to have a big 30 minutes or big half, big quarter, whatever. That never happened, so that's when I knew we were a big chance in this game. Danny says, first time I can remember a player securing a long-term extension a few days ago and also play brilliantly in his game since signing tonight. Love Rowan Marshall. Oh, by the way, has anyone noticed this Sinclair is getting even better each week, if that's even possible? Love him. Huge call there. Rowe was massive tonight, as was Sinclair. Adrian says, why can't we play like that every week? Mate, I don't know, but enjoy tonight. Let's not think about next week or what's just gone by in the weeks gone by. Enjoy tonight, enjoy the moment, and let's go next week and get a win against Fremantle or Bulldogs, whoever we're playing. Beth says, Zach, bless your soul. Mate, I've backed you when you have some fire. He's got to have in the team, and good to see him clear-headed again. Yeah, Zach Jones looked a bit worried last week, a bit in his own head. Tonight he was just playing on instinct, playing his game, and it really helped us in the midfield. You know, the amount of times he got good clearances from Paddy Ryder or Rowan Marshall taps was massive, and when he didn't, he followed up, he chased, he tackled, and even Max King, that so many players that aren't known for doing that, they had 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th efforts, and it created turnovers or a ball up when otherwise Carlton could have had an easy handball out and their clearances would have just kicked them, you know, put them forward quicker in this game, and it would have put our defence under pressure. But tonight our mid stood up, and it meant the ball wasn't coming in cleanly to the Carlton forwards. Liam says, Marshall, 5 big marks in the first quarter. That was huge from him tonight. Christopher says, timing of the Marshall extension was pivotal. I feel really buoyed the team. Kerry says, King being up the ground with some big grabs, making heaps of space in the forward line. So good. That's exactly what we want from Max King. He wasn't one-dimensional tonight. Nick Rewald during the week said Max King in our forward line has been one-dimensional. Full credit to Rui for saying that, because it has been. He spoke the truth. But tonight we were unpredictable. We had multiple options to kick goals, and they all stood up in their own moments, which is amazing. Sam says, bloody love beating Carlton. I know, it's second to beating Geelong for me. Beating Carlton, especially when they're up and about, their supporters are getting arrogant. They're thinking it's easy, which they were. The supporters in front of us were loving it early in the game. We definitely got hold of them, and that's awesome. Adrian says, worth a bottle of wine or two. Had a few tonight, mate, but definitely might have a cheeky one later if we watch the replay at home. How good was Timmy? That's from John T. Timmy Membry was massive tonight. He loves playing Carlton, and that was huge from him. We needed goals from Tim Membry tonight to have any chance in this game, and we got goals from him, as well as key marks in the back line. Phil says, looking forward to next week's game already. Me too, mate, me too. Lylan says, the midfield was enormous tonight. We copped a few early losses out of the middle, but with a centre clearance combo rated 110% better than us, we bought the pressure and effort, and look what happens. Absolutely superb performance from the engine room tonight. Yep, Rossi, Jonesy, Sinks, Gresh, Steele, Rowe, Paddy, all of them, Crouchy, huge tonight. Absolutely huge. 3 minutes to go and half the crowd had left. Yeah, when we got even 10 points up, some of them were leaving. I was like, 4 or 5 minutes to go. You can still win this, Blue supporters, but they left very early. So they love to get to games when they're up and about, but they love to get on the train early before the final siren, even more so. Thomas says, Webster was awesome. Battle awesome. Wilkie got robbed. Highmore did well as well. That's from Will. Isabella says, 21-9 free kicks. Umps against us, but still pulled through with the win. That's awesome. 21-9. Is that genuinely what the free kick count was? That's outrageous if we only finished on 9. Matthew says, we've found a couple of gems in Wanganeen, Malira and Windhager. They're going to be guns. Absolutely, mate. Wilkie, so underrated in defence. That's from AJ. Liam says, Marshall with 12 marks tonight and missed about 20 minutes. That's huge from Rowe. That is massive. He is a superstar for us. One of the best rucks in the competition. Love it. That's from Matthew. Hunter Clark's hands were underrated in the contest. They were very good. I thought overall everyone's hands were great. You know, when it looked like Carlton were going to tackle us and hold us in, we got some hands out and we got the ball out. And that freed up that run game that we're really, really good at. And Gresham as well, he created some really good moments where he just holds the ball up. He has that sidestep, you know, a little bit of a shimmy with his hips. He can't get tackled. He's got that little bit of explosive pace in that 10 to 15 metres that he's got. And that creates a lot of dangerous, you know, attacks for us. Who was BOG tonight? I'd have to say Sinks. I thought he was just consistently a very, very good player. And I think Tim Membry has to be up there as well. Show some love for Paddy. I've definitely, like, Paddy is the heart and soul. I called it during the week. We didn't have that in the last couple of weeks. We needed it tonight. And Paddy Ryder lifts us to a new level when he plays. He's such a gun, such an important player. And we absolutely love Paddy Ryder at the footy club. Potentially our first proper four-quarter performance all year. Brilliant to see this from Isabella. Yeah, I think so. And especially against a really good team, a top 4 fancy, that is a huge effort from us. We needed to play close to a full proper game tonight, and we did. Josh Battle, very good as well. He's been unreal all year at centre-half back. It's just such a good win, Saying. There's so many good comments, but I might wrap it up there. Let everyone get going, and I got to rush home and watch the replay as well with the missus. But yeah, thank you very much, Sainers, for tuning in. If you got some more comments, please put them in the comments below and I'll answer them after the video. This will be up on YouTube as well, so head on over to YouTube Saints TV Pod. If you're not following the channel on YouTube, please hit subscribe. And on Instagram as well, we want to hit 20,000 on Instagram by the end of the year. We're on 18 and a half now, Sainers. So if you're watching this, 270 of you, go on to Instagram at Saints TV Podcast, hit follow, and join the channel on there. And I'll be back. Fan cams I think we got tonight, so we'll be posting them tomorrow. Player ratings as well, Saturday and Sunday, plenty of content. And then we'll be building up to another finals-like game against Fremantle next Saturday night. So I'll leave it there, Sainers. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate every comment, every bit of support for the channel. It's awesome. And we needed to get the win tonight. And we did it, Sainers. We fucking did it. So good to beat the Blue Baggers. They go home. They can cry on Lygon Street, eat some pizza all night. And we'll go home and watch the replay on KO and have a grand old time. And what a better way to start a weekend. Friday night football, beating Carlton in a sellout game. Huge effort to keep our season alive. The season's not done yet, Sainers. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next video on the Saints TV channel. Take care, Sainers. And as always, go you mighty Sainers. Beautiful. See you guys.